If abuse is happening, knowing where to go makes all the difference. In this video, Bob Blancato from the National Elder Justice Coalition and I are going to be talking about different agencies that can truly help you. At the end of the video, I'm going to cover some information on how to contact these agencies and find out more. This video is intended for adult viewers only. It discusses elder abuse and may be sensitive for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. No explicit language is included. Let's talk about resources, because you keep bringing up some very amazing organizations, and one is Adult Protective Services. Who does Adult Protective Services primarily serve? Is it those who are not living in licensed facilities, living alone?
A whole range of people. I mean, again, adult protective services are 18 and above. Okay, I mean, they serve that population. They're 18 and above. You know, a lot of their work is based on reports that are given to them by social workers, people who have the ability to interact with older adults. Some of their stuff is facility based, but a lot of their stuff is community based, and they operate in all 50 states. And you know, they have sort of two approaches, right? One is they could be dealing with a victim and trying to find help and services to help that victim, or they could be contributing to prevention by doing education, training, you know, serving on multidisciplinary teams, things like that happen in the community. So, but I would, you know, I would say to you that I can happily refer you to people who are, you know, very much in that space on a daily basis, and I would encourage you to even go to their conference this year, which will be in Austin, Texas, and I can send you the dates.
Please.
And that gives you the ability to interact with these folks directly.
Wonderful. I would love that. Thank you. And I've had a lot of experience with the local long-term care ombudsman. I was a volunteer ombudsman for the Detroit area, which is a huge like population that they serve, but a very small and mighty office. But how can you explain the ombudsman program to those who are listening who might not know?
Well, before I did, I just, since you bring up Detroit, I must tell you that I have two wonderful relationships in the city of Detroit that relate to aging. One was a guy named Paul Bridgewater, who used to run the area agency on aging, a dear friend of mine. And in fact, I went to his retirement party, and I remember it very well. And Ron Taylor, who took his place, is a marvelous, innovative, great guy who I'm happy to say serves on the board of the National Association of Nutrition and Aging Service Program.
Wonderful.
But the ombudsman, they operate in counties and cities, and basically their responsibility is to investigate and report cases of abuse that occur in nursing homes or now in assisted living. They are, you know, many of them are volunteers, and you know, they have a national association that works with us to ensure that they get adequate funding through programs like the Older Americans Act. They've been overlooked for a while. They're doing a better job now of, you know, I hate to say this, promoting themselves, which what you have to do, even in a serious vein in an area like that. But you know, they are the primary reporters. So, for example, you know, there's always this controversy about nursing home compare, okay, which people make decisions about, you know, where to send their loved one if that situation arises. Well, you know, the first thing you got to look at is the place free from abuse? You know, I mean, I remember testifying, I don't know what year it was, but it was before Senator Grassley, I remember that. And the witness before me was talking about her mother passing away in a nursing home from dehydration, which was caused by basically 5 or 6 days of neglect. And when she was asked, what rating did that nursing home get? And it got a 5-star. Okay.
Wow.
And we've been arguing since that point that you should not be relying on a once-a-year assessment of a place. Okay, because a place that could get a 5-star in January could be a 1-star by June. But if nobody's watching, you know, that stuff's still on the site saying, you know, that they're a great place. Well, so ombudsman help in that space too, because ombudsman can contribute to that. But they need to be listened to more. They need to connect more with the surveyors that are out there that are funded through, the programs. But fundamentally, this place we need to be is, if you're getting Medicaid or less so Medicare money, there are conditions of participation for you to get those dollars. And we don't spend anywhere near enough time enforcing that particular law to make sure that these facilities are meeting that criteria. And there are many good places out there that exceed, right? But we have to be consistent, right?
Right. Exactly. And like you said, the state comes in and looks once a year. And even though the state comes in and they do very hard work to survey these facilities, they don't always, they'll come the same basic time of year. So the facility knows that they're coming in a certain time. So like you said, they could have 5 stars, they could have a good survey, but what are the other times of the year going to look like? What are other sources of information or support that a caregiver, because that's who I'm basically supporting, are people who caregive for their loved ones. And sometimes their loved ones are in long-term care, but they're still providing care in their own way. What are other resources in places that they could go for help if they suspect abuse is going on?
Right. Well, the first thing that I want to call out is the importance of the National Family Caregiver Support Program in the Older Americans Act, which is a marvelous program that actually came out of our 1995 White House Conference on Aging. Its only problem is it's inadequately funded. I mean, it's got maybe less than $200 million for the whole country. However, its role is vital because a family caregiver oftentimes is thrust into that situation. But this training program, allows you at least to understand some of the basics of what it takes to be a good caregiver. And we are very close to having language inserted into the Old Americans Act saying that this should include elder abuse prevention training. Okay, so that even if it's accidental or whatever it may be, we don't want the caregiver being responsible for any form of abuse that could happen. So relying on that program, getting information from area agencies on aging, from nutrition programs, any program that serves older adults in one form or another, should have resources to help caregivers understand how to do that very difficult job effectively. And happily, we've reached a point, it's taken too long, where, we are understanding the importance of family caregiving, how much it contributes to our economy. I mean, President Trump, called for a family caregiver tax credit in his campaign. We're still hoping that will come about. But that actually is a very important component because the financial cost of caregiving are real and daily in nature. So, I think that, and of course, programs, now that family caregivers, are more social media adept, there should be materials that are out there through that channel as well. And you should be credited for being one of them. And that's important.
Thank you.
But, we can't do enough in that space. We just have to make sure that we're there.
I cannot thank Bob enough for sitting down with me and sharing all this information for your benefit. I sure hope you found a lot of good information, and please thank Bob down below. His vast knowledge is unbelievable, and I cannot thank him enough. The National Elder Justice Coalition provides so much for all of us. All right, guys, just know that you are loved, you are appreciated, you are needed on this planet, and you are doing great things being a caregiver. Now go have a great day, and until we speak again, I wish you blessings.